Have you ever looked at a tab or a chord chart and thought, what chord is this? Am I supposed to play both chords at the same time? Well, there's more to the story than just that. We're checking it out in this video. Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in. If this is your first time, my name is Jimmy, and on this channel we do gear videos, song lessons, and technique lessons just like this one. So if you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing. Now, at any point during the video, you can check the description box below for the lesson plan. There you'll find equipment details, tips and tricks, and timestamps so that you can skip to different parts of the video. So here's the big question. What is a slash chord? To get right to the point, a slash chord is just an easy way of telling us as guitar players what note goes at the bottom of the chord, or what's the lowest note. For example, we're all used to playing an E chord, so an open E. We understand that the lowest note in the E chord is an E. Pretty straightforward, right? But what if you looked at a chord chart and you came across this? It's really just telling us, hey, go ahead, play your E chord, but make sure that the lowest note in the chord is a G sharp instead of an E. Pretty simple, right? Now let's go ahead to the close-up and check out some easy slash chords that you can start playing. The first one is G over B, or G/B, we would see it written. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a regular G chord, just an open G. Now, if you had to figure out how to put the B on the bottom of this chord, what do you think you would do? Well, first of all, we know that we can't have this guy on here because that's our G. It's the lowest note in the chord, so we got to take him off. So what are we left with? Well, we're left with our index finger right here, A, B flat, B. So that's the B note that we would need. So if we just played this chord without the sixth string, so that's just my index and my ring finger, G chord without the middle finger. That's basically your G over B. Very simple, straightforward. Now, what I like to do is actually play my G chord like this. I play a G chord a lot like this, just because I like the sound of it. So if I have my index finger there, there's the B. So now if I take my middle finger off, I'm left with this chord. So that's my G over B. And the great thing is you can freely strum it and not worry about hitting that E string, because you don't want the low E to ring out. You don't want that note in the chord. You want the lowest note to be your index finger. So your index finger right here, if he just touches that low E string, you don't have to worry about it accidentally ringing out. Now, the cool progression that I thought of with the G over B in it is Jackson Browne, the Load Out. Now, I think the beginning of the song, it has kind of this sound to it. And I've always played that with a G over B. I think it's pretty close. But it has that cool ascending bass line. Starts with a regular G, goes up, and then lands on the B for the G over B chord. Okay, the next chord is an A minor over G. Now, I don't really use this as a strum chord. More often than not, you'll see it as like a passing chord, kind of. Similar to something that sounds like... So what that is just a regular A minor chord. And then if you take your pinky and just add the pinky 3rd fret on the low E, There's your G note. So that's an A minor over G, essentially. And it's got a great sound if you use it for those kind of descending bass patterns. So the chord right here is not changing. I'm just descending down with the bass notes. So that's an A minor over G. Okay, so the next chord is an E over G sharp. In other words, a regular E chord with a G sharp in the bass. Now this one's going to look a little funny, because normally we would think, well, I could just play a regular E chord, but if you wanted to get the G sharp, you'd have to stretch your pinky all the way over here to the 4th fret on the low E. Not impossible, but also not very comfortable. So what I like to do is play an E power chord, basically. So index finger, 2nd fret of the D string, 4th finger, 4th fret of the G string. And then I take my ring finger and put him on the 4th fret of the low E. And my ring finger is muting the A string. So I'm left with that triad. Still, it's my major chord, but it's an E chord with the G sharp in the bass. Now, if you accidentally hit those low or high strings, your high B, your high E, or if you do it on purpose, it's perfectly fine because they fit inside the E major chord. So you can play all of them if you like. But that's basically your E over G sharp. One way of playing it, anyway. I illustrate this one with the descending chord sequence from Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass. So that's the descending bass line. And it's illustrated by the E over G sharp. We go from an A to an E over G sharp. So it's a cool way of using that slash chord. Now the final slash chord is probably one of the most common ones that you'll come across. And this is a D over F sharp. So it's a regular D chord. And we have to figure out a way to put the F sharp in the bass. So the most common way to play this is normally when you play a D chord, you're just strumming from the 4th string down. But what you can do for the D over F sharp is take your thumb, and this is probably the most challenging one if you're not used to wrapping your thumb around and catching this note right at the top. So I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to catch the 2nd fret on the low E string. Okay? And that 2nd fret is an F sharp. So if I hit that string with my thumb and also mute the A string, so make sure he doesn't ring out, and if I strum all of them, I'm left with a D over F sharp. So my regular D chord with an F sharp in the bass. Now another way of playing this, if you're not totally comfortable yet with the thumb over the guitar neck, you can play it this way. You can play 2nd finger on that F sharp, 3rd finger, 2nd fret on the G string, and then 4th finger, 3rd fret on the B string. And the A string and the high E do not ring out. So it's a funny looking shape, but that's a D over F sharp. And the one I thought of, there's quite a few. I mean, you're going to come across so many songs with that shape in it. One of the ones that came to mind, Ed Sheeran. So there's that D over F sharp. But like I said, you'll find plenty of songs, tabs, chord charts that are going to show you that D over F sharp. So that's a really useful one to have in your arsenal. So just in review, we had the G over B, which we learned. The A minor over G. The E over G sharp. And then finally the D over F sharp. So that's a pretty good starter to get you rolling on your slash chords. So make sure you practice them and get those fingerings down and get comfortable with them, because you're going to see them quite a bit in a lot of chord charts and tabs that you find online. All right, so today's topic: what are your favorite songs that feature slash chords? Let us know in the comment section down below. Let's get the conversation going and see how we can help each other out. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this, and we'll see you on the next one.